What's up, Gigatrads and Tracies? It's your beloved monarch, Tradley. So I've noticed for many years now that the culture war is filled with critics attacking strawmen and neocons idealizing a politically correct version of the 1950s. I've noticed this binary even among political dissidents, so I want to introduce to you a different angle. And to do that, I'll share a quote that I believe is a goldmine. Tradition is a set of solutions for which we have forgotten the problems. Throw away the solution and you get the problem back. Sometimes the problem has mutated or disappeared. Often it is still there, as strong as it ever was. Quote by Donald Kingsbury. To explore this idea further, I'm going to tell you a story about Chesterton's fence. Once upon a time, there was a charming village called Bohemian Grove, surrounded by a sturdy wooden fence built by its founder, G.K. Chesterton. Over the centuries, Bohemian Grove evolved into a suburb of a bustling city with a prestigious university. As students learned about the fence, they found the fence offensive. Rallying to have it torn down, invoking conflict theory, and claiming it kept out foreigners seeking a better life, the local Communist Party funded the protests, seizing an opportunity to erase the village's heritage and impose a new vision of civilization. Despite the attempts of the protests, the residents lacked the political power and will to resist. Superstitions about the fence bringing bad luck were dismissed as ignorance. After a successful communist revolution, Bohemian Grove stood for the first time without its beloved fence. Initially, villagers celebrated the removal, marveling at the new buildings that replaced it, convinced they were witnessing progress. But their joy was short-lived. Soon, packs of coyotes began devouring their chickens. Livestock began wandering off, following will-o'-the-wisps within the swamp. And worst of all, children were being abducted by ancient owl-worshipping, cheese pizza-eating cult members who had been living in caves just outside the village all along. Realizing the fence's purpose, the villagers begged their government to rebuild it. However, the communist regime, eager to distance itself from Chesterton, erected a large brutalist wall made of cheap autoclaved aerated concrete. While it provided some semblance of structure, it was widely regarded as ugly and impersonal, much like the rest of the new architecture. As the Cold War waxed and waned, Bohemian Grove succumbed to the same globalist liberal capitalism that permeates much of our world today. Fast food chains and big box stores replaced the communist buildings, but they were just as lifeless and dysphoric, now featuring a vulgar or meretricious undertone. The wall, built from inexpensive materials, deteriorated quickly under acid rain and was soon replaced by flimsy plastic barriers that needed to be replaced every 5 years. Eventually, a nationalist leader emerged, determined to wipe out all traces of both communism and globalism. He commissioned for an exact replica of Chesterton's fence to be built, which, while visually appealing and a source of pride, failed to meet the villagers' modern needs. It was too narrow for contemporary farm equipment and inadequate for the larger livestock they had bred. The villagers cried out to their leader, asking for a new fence. However, they were no longer the kind of people who had originally designed and built it. The nationalist regime focused on nostalgia rather than evolution, creating a facade of a past civilization devoid of the principles that had once fueled it. The replica was constructed by a historical society using weekend volunteers, lacking the ingenuity and conviction of the original builders, who were inspired by God and their ancestors. I hope you enjoyed this parable. To drive the point home, God creates principles, which in turn create fence builders, and those builders create adaptable fences that honor those principles. If we had maintained our fidelity to God and His teachings, we might still be fostering builders who create thriving communities like Czechoslovakia, Poland, where 98% of the population is Catholic, many take their faith seriously, and traditional customs are celebrated. This community enjoys a high quality of life, a strong fertility rate, and embraces innovation while maintaining a local economy. There are, of course, other examples of successes from modern-day fence builders, such as Le Plessis Robinson in France, Ave Maria in Florida, and Cayala in Guatemala, to name a few. I'd love to dive deeper into this concept, which I call neo-trad. Let me know down in the comments. Who holds power in your city? Are they fence destroyers, maintainers, or builders? Most importantly, ask yourself, how can you better follow God and his principles to become a fence builder yourself? What inspiration can you draw from your ancestors to create a better future in your community? And y'all Giga Trads and Tracy's better stay based and don't let the transhumanist, reptilian, shapeshifting, vegan Mossad agents fluoridate your water and bulldoze your shire into a Costco parking lot. The globalists assassinated Doge. They used aimbot to murk the Habsburg monarchy. Agartha is real. UFOs are fake. Nick Fuentes is a gay fed. Klaus Schwab, bring you down.